Hey, it's Brooklyn Lou the Skeptic. Going to be on here live, hoping to hear from people who want to talk about anything. Open topic, open forum, friendly conversation. And we can talk about anything. So join me here. Getting some nasty weather here in South Florida. Looks like it's going to have a big lightning thunderstorm. Hopefully, it doesn't interfere with the signal. So I do these lives because I want to invite in people who may not think like I do, and also give time for people who are atheists and may want to talk about any subject or anything that is of their concern. But of course, I love to talk to theists and Christians and other religions as well. So if you ever wanted to ask an atheist something, now would be a good time. That should be the link if anyone wants to join me here. So I recently heard a little while ago, about a half hour ago, that Ozzy Osbourne died. Wasn't a nice thing to hear, but Ozzy was very influential in the heavy rock and roll. And many people kind of considered him a bad man, but really he wasn't. He was a really good guy. He just came up the hard way. He came up really hard, and he did a lot of good as well. A lot of good in his life. His music influenced people all over the world. So it's sad to see him go. Hey, Dark God 646, how you doing today? I was just saying that Ozzy Osbourne passed away today. I was sorry to hear that. Oh, that feels good. So what's new with you, Dark God 6? Yeah, Ozzy was pretty influential. And all that I've heard over the last couple of decades is he was a pretty good guy. Just got a bad rap, you know. I mean, he came up hard and certainly made a lot of his life. He lived a long life. Nothing but being broke. You mean like nothing's going on but the rent? Being broke is kind of sucks, but you can certainly make it past it. And when you do, you have some good memories anyway. I'm going to put a fan on because it's hotter than heck in my room right now. Hold on. Hey, don't worry too much about the check engine light until you know what it is, because cars, they come up with that all the time. I've been driving cars for years with the check engine light on. Right now, my own car has a check engine light on, and it's been on for the last 6 months. But the car's driving fine. So I don't go by the check engine light anymore. I go by how the car is running and just the things I see for myself. So I left a link. Here it is again. 24 years old. Let's see, that's 2001ish. But still, if you got to just have it checked to see what the check engine light is, what it's indicating. But I'm telling you, I drive a lot of cars that have check engine light on, and it doesn't seem to be that important. Depends on what it is. It could be something real minor. And if it is, it doesn't impact you very much. Get it checked. We go to AutoZone and just places like that, and just have them run the check for free and see what comes up. And if it's just little things, sometimes you could ignore it until you get a little more money in your pocket. There's a link. Anyone who wants to come in on the stage. Again, I really like doing this, and I love for people to communicate. That's why I'm trying to do this once a week if I can. I don't have a big following, so I don't, have a bunch of people popping in. But it's good to see Dark God 6 because I know I've seen you before. Over by me, it's about ready to crack in a thunderstorm. I'm just hoping the lights stay on. The one thing you gotta look for, Dark God 6, is overheating. I mean, that's always big. So just look at the temperature. If your temperature is good, uh, you you might be okay. It's that temperature that'll destroy your motor. Right now it's 4:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in my area. Good to see you again, Zektech. My dog just came popping in the room because he's hearing the thunder. And you know how dogs, they don't like thunder. Come here, Rusty. I have two dachshunds, one big and one small, both old. What time is it in South Africa? Or what day is it? It's Tuesday over here. Tuesday, same, 22:15. So that would be much later, right, than it is here. Don't know if you heard yet, Zektech, but Ozzy Osbourne died today. Good question, Doc God 6. Very relevant question. When you leave religion and your family and friends are in that religion, it's a tough thing for them to swallow. I think it's because people generally feel that they are associated with other people that think the same way they do. And some of these people are really sincere in their beliefs. So when it comes to things like Christianity, they might actually think you're going to hell. And that's frightful for them because they know you. They might think you're a pretty good person. And then they hear that you no longer believe this and they think that you're going to go to hell. And then there's the aspect of people just wanting to control other people. You know, when you're religious and other people around you are religious, maybe they're more predictable because you know what they're thinking. And it could be scary, maybe, to know that someone no longer thinks like you do. All of this is irrational. None of these fears are any good. They're all really irrational fears that should be done away with. Bottom line is people are people. There are good people and bad people in all different religions and no religion at all. And that's just reality. So I never judge anyone based on their religion or what they believe. I always judge people based on how they treat other human beings. There's also a factor where religious people have a sense of security. And if you actually come out of it and maybe they talk to you and you question their belief, it makes them feel uncomfortable. A lot of people, they get very uncomfortable because they really don't have a deep down sense of security of their own. And it disturbs some people when you come out of religion. I think I recall you were coming out of religion yourself and working through these things. And I will tell you, it's definitely something you need to work through. But if you're confident in yourself and you treat people with respect, they will come to respect you because they see your behavior and how you know, you still respect other people regardless of what they believe. And eventually, a lot of them come around and some of them don't. And when they don't come around, they weren't really a friend anyway. Because true friends can stay friends regardless of what people believe. I mean, I have some friends that are friends that are devout Christians. And those people are terrific. And we don't have to agree on things, but we could still be friends. I asked my folks for money. They did they tell you to ask Jesus for money? If they did, I don't think he's giving any out. Uh, Money comes from people. That's pretty funny to me. They told you to ask Jesus. And then maybe if you ask Jesus, they'll put a little something under your pillow. So that they can make believe that Jesus gave you money, like the tooth fairy. Hey, Lost Explorers Guild, how you doing? Nice to see you. If Jesus sent money to everyone who asked for money, what a world, huh? He would be the never-ending money provider. Nobody would ever run out of money. Just ask Jesus. But life is not a fairy tale, is it? Reality always hits home, always hits you. Hey, Luke. Nice to see you. Yeah, there's a lot of methods used by religion to control people. It's just a part of religion, really. It's control of people, mind control. It's truly the bottom line. That's truly what it's about. When it's all said and done, it's about mind control. And if you resist mind control and think for yourself, you're not going to fit in very well, even if you're amongst other people of the same religion. I mean, I have a buddy of mine that's a very devout Christian, and he doesn't fit into any church he's ever gone to because he might have a little different understanding of something. And the only way he could stay there is if he keeps his mouth shut. Because if he opens his mouth and expresses a different view, he's not allowed to really participate in ministry, etc., etc. So he doesn't even go to church anymore. He just is a Christian for sure, but he doesn't go to church anymore. Yeah. The fear factor is so big. It's such a big thing. Shame, all of that stuff. Such a big thing. People people are told they have to fear God. And that in and of itself is manipulation. That you have to fear God. And ultimately, it's not God who is doing anything. It's the people. So it's kind of like an authoritarianism. It without a doubt becomes people controlling you in the name of God. So I think that would be a good definition of religion. People controlling you in the name of God. But we don't have to be controlled. We can control our own minds and let it think for itself. But that's going to bother any religious person. It doesn't sit well with religious people that you actually think for yourself. Just did a video of that yesterday. Posted it. It's just about some of my thoughts on deconverting, deconstructing, what it was like to finally realize that I could trust my own thoughts and I didn't have to go to anybody else to be told how to think. And that's incredible freedom of thought, which is a human right for all human beings. But it can be taken away from us like any human right. And it can be taken away from us from religion. Right? Religion can take away your freedom of thought if you allow it to. And the breaking point or the come to Jesus moment in Christianity or the born again experience is when a person gives up their own thoughts. And that's when the religion gotcha. And they're going to control you from there on out. They gotcha. My latest thing to be telling the Christians that I speak with online is that their God never says anything. Pretty simple, right? Right? Jesus never wrote anything. We have nothing that was even attributed to Jesus other than words from other men who wrote down what they said Jesus spoke. That's the best we have. Jesus, who is said to be God in the flesh, never wrote anything for himself. Just think about that, and it's going to make you doubt. I mean, the God comes down in human form, can't write a word, doesn't actually record his own words in writing that maybe we could see, oh, look, it was written by Jesus. Never, ever. Because Jesus didn't write anything. If he existed as a man, he never wrote anything. All we got is the writings of men. But we're expected to buy it all. Just throw our lives out and say, oh, I will follow the writings of these men. Good luck with all that. Yeah, Jesus was rather primitive compared to the people today. Just time. Human beings do advance, at least mentally, we have advanced. Knowledge, technology, all those things that make us a little smarter today than we were 2,000 years ago. And yet, many people want to go back in time, and they want to believe that a 2,000-year-old man from 2,000 years ago had something so profound to say, and that he was smarter than we are, and he knew more than we do. And it's the arrogance of religion. Yeah. Hey, when I was an evangelical Christian for many years, there were times that I believed things like epilepsy were caused by spirits. I mean, I believe stuff like that from time to time. I mean, why else would somebody have a problem in the mind, right? And when you believe in these spirits and these gods and you base your life on them, it's easy to fall into the trap of, well, that illness is because of some spiritual reason. Can't be, neurons in the brain that are firing wrong. Can't be that. No, got to be something more to it. So, yeah, I believed in some crazy things you know, at different times. Mental illness, if you're a deep fundamentalist Christian, that's a hard thing to look at when someone is mentally ill. It's very easy to think that they're possessed by a demon. Yeah, the ancient mind simply didn't know the things that we know today. That's why you see the gods, being the god of lightning. I'm gonna have a storm here. Well, it's storming right now, not lightning and thunder, but it's a real rainstorm. 2,000 years ago, I would think that a god was doing this. Now I can excuse the people 2,000 years ago, but it's hard for me to excuse people today who think that the gods are making it rain or a god is making it rain. Hey, Dark Light, nice to see you in here. Yeah. And again, Luke, I myself used to think that certain people with mental illness were possessed by the devil or demonic forces. So glad I got out of that nonsense. So glad I want to look at reality and try to understand the human mind better than that. But yeah, if you're going to go all in on these beliefs, you're twisting your mind into a pretzel. No audio, huh? You got to do something about that. Yeah, I don't know if any of you folks were deep into Christianity, but I was for a while, quite a long while. And I went to prayer meetings where they were praying the demons out of people, you know, stuff like that. And in that particular group of people that are doing this, that's what they believe, that the demons are doing things. So preposterous, so ridiculous. But yes, they believe that stuff. Here's a link again. Thank you for everyone stopping by. I want my live streams. I want to do it once a week at least, just to try to open up and talk to whoever wants to talk about anything. And it doesn't even have to be religious because there's a lot more to life than religion, thank goodness. But, you know, being it's so important to so many people, I want to be able to talk to Christian people openly. And maybe we can bridge a gap because I can relate to a lot of Christian people. It's just the fundamentalist type of Christian that just thinks they know everything and thinks anyone who is different than them is going to hell. That gets rough for me. Dark God 6. Now there's a can of worms. What do I think about Trump? Well, this is what I think about Trump. I'm 62 years old, lived in New York for much of my life. Donald Trump was a character in New York from at least the late 70s and 80s. And I was in New York, and mostly in the 80s, I remember him being prominent, 80s and early 90s. And he's always been a corrupt criminal. Right? That's just who he is. Right now, I don't think that a corrupt criminal should be president, but he was elected president. So he was able to um, get rid of the charges that he already was convicted of, because he was convicted of fraud by a jury of his peers. And he was going to be sentenced, but that's never going to happen. So What do I think of Donald Trump? He's a criminal, um, power hungry criminal, selfish, narcissist, thinks of himself, seeks personal power over everything else. Um, Not a very smart man, not very well read, and also think he's dismantling our country right now. So yes, I think Donald Trump is an absolute horror show for America. I think that Trump has gotten where he wants to go. You know, he's the president of a country, and he's going to use that power and clout any way he can to advance his own personal agenda. That's the type of man he always was. He never was any different. It's just some people were duped and sold and believe a lie because people are very gullible. And, you know, much like religious people, they're just naive. They believe something. And then when they turn their loyalty onto it, I mean, they become just sheep, and they become sheep that will do anything and believe anything based upon the shepherd. And in this case, Trump is the shepherd of his flock. Well, I kind of disagree that Trump is being told what to do. I mean, I don't think so. I think he he has become the number one person of authority in the United States, and that's because people gave him that power. Right? They wanted to be ruled over, and that's how I see it. Um, you know, I'm sure he gets influenced by other people, but they have to be people that are like him, but maybe a little stronger in some ways. People from other countries, maybe Putin. You know, Putin has an influence on him. Dictator types. He respects the dictator type leader. You know, but nobody in America, I think, is controlling Donald Trump. I don't see that. Luke, that's how I see it. Religious people are really naive and really gullible. That's my experience. That's what I see. I mean, the same type of person who would fall for the charlatan preacher who says, "Send me your money and you will be blessed because I have the inner, you know, pathway to God, and I will tell God on your behalf that he should bless you, and God, you know, is going to bless you because I say he will." That type of person is very gullible. So yes, they're very gullible, and Trump eats it up. He knows that. Trump is not a religious man. He just knows that these religious people are very gullible. He totally knows that. Well, who is it in America that Trump would be taking orders from in America? Yeah. I mean, look at the Trump Epstein thing, and you could see just how gullible people are, right? I mean, Trump was very good friends with Epstein. I mean, it's not like he was a casual, oh, I just saw him once in a while. No, he was close friends with Jeffrey Epstein. That's just a fact. And yet Trump could go on and say, well, you know, he was a guy I talked to and I went on a plane once or twice, but that's it. Nah, you were close to Jeffrey Epstein. Very close. Hey, Bear, let me let you in.
Oh, hello, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm not too bad. How's my audio, by the way? Is it all right?
Say that again.
How is my audio? Is it okay?
Could be a little louder.
Uh,
I mean, if you have
how about
adjustments.
that?
You have adjustments or no?
Uh, is that any better?
A little better. I mean, I don't hear the greatest, but you're a little low. But I could make out what you're saying.
Oh, okay. I'll just move a bit closer.
Yeah, that helps too.
Oh, good, good.
So what's up?
Nothing. I just saw your stream saying chat with an atheist. Figured if I could jump in.
Well, I appreciate it. Anything you'd like to talk about, I do these things on my channel to try to open up dialogue and to have conversations with all different types of people, whether they be atheist, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, doesn't matter. I do think we're all human beings, and
Yeah.
ultimately that's important. and
Oh, definitely. I'm not going to think bad of you because you're an atheist.
and I'm not going to think bad of you regardless of what you believe.
Thank you.
So what's up?
I'm down to talk about whatever. So, anything on your mind?
I mean, what's on my mind? I've been watching the. I mean, where you from? You have an accent. Are you from the United
From
States?
England.
Ah, um, England itself, right? Not Wales or.
No, no, England itself. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in England once. I spent time in England quite a long time ago now, but I
Oh,
enjoyed
whereabouts?
it. I was in. Let's see. I spent some time in Cheddar Grove, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
I was there. Of course, I went to London, and I spent time in Wales too. So,
Oh, yeah, Wales is nice, but it's very empty. There's not much to do.
well, it's. I spent time in Wales at the time with you know Charlotte Church.
I know the name.
She's a singer. I'm sure she's still around, but this is quite a few years ago. But I stayed with her mom and dad, her stepdad and her mother in
Ah,
Wales, and it was a busy little street, some pubs nearby, but I didn't do much in Wales. I was there
yeah,
for a
there's not
recording
much to do.
project, actually.
Yeah, there's not much to do in Wales. If you're in one area, there's not much. There's literally, as you said, pubs in one street.
I loved the breakfast. I'll always remember that.
Did you have a full English?
Yeah, just the bacon was like thick bacon and really fresh, and eggs and scones and tea. It was good.
Yeah, but good breakfast, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. So are you an atheist or a Atheist or something else?
Catholic myself.
What's that?
I'm a Catholic myself.
Oh, Catholic. Catholic Church in England isn't that big, is it?
It's still big, but it's rivaled with the Protestant church.
Yeah, the Church of England, right? Anglican.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, I have heard just from other people that the the Christianity in England has gone down. Like less people call themselves Christians than in the past.
yeah. That it's true. Yeah,
It's become more secular as far as I've heard.
yeah. More secular and also a big influx of Islam as well. So that's why the probably number's gone down.
Yeah, yeah. I know some of the churches there, even when I went there, were not as big as they used to be, and this was like must be 20 years ago or more.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. We've still got the two cathedrals, but
I remember seeing some nice castles. I don't recall the names of them, but saw
oh,
some
I
big.
think yeah, I know the one you mean.
So, how did you become Catholic? Was it you were born into it, or you converted to it?
Born into it, but then as I got older, I looked into Catholicism and sort of like reinforced me.
Are you devout in the faith, or just like casual about it?
Um, in between,
And church you go to now, is it big or small?
it's a small church, the one I go to, because I try to make every Sunday service, but it is a small one.
Yeah. So do you ever have any questions for a real life atheist? Well, you probably know some over there, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's the I've had me fair few discussions with atheists, and depends on who I speak to, I get like different answers. The one I always ask is, "What? Why are you atheist? Is it, as you said, something you're born into, something you chose, or?"
For me, that's a question I think everyone has their own answer to. But for me, I was Catholic for quite a long time because that's what my family was when I was born. So I was Catholic, then I became what we call here in America evangelical Christian.
Oh yeah,
So I spent a lot of time as an adult as what would be called a born again Christian, and then I left and became an atheist. So I transitioned a couple times, and
oh yeah,
I've
no,
been
yeah.
an atheist for maybe 12 years or so now.
Oh, are you like a full throttle atheist, or are you a bit agnostic where you don't know but kind of wish?
Um, I I call myself an agnostic atheist. So what I mean by that is I'm an atheist because I do not believe in God, any gods, not just the Christian God. I don't believe in any gods. So that makes me an atheist, but I'm agnostic because I don't know for sure if there could possibly be a God somewhere. So I like to try to be honest. So I call myself an agnostic atheist.
Oh yeah, no, I get you. Don't get me wrong, that's a very reasonable response. I completely understand it.
Yeah. Atheist generally refers to belief, and agnostic refers to knowledge. So those are the roots of those words. So a lot of people don't understand, but you can be both. I believe there's a lot of Christian people who are agnostic.
Yeah, no, I understand what you say in the sense that you personally don't believe in any God, but you don't have the proof to say that there is or isn't.
Exactly. And I think there's Christians who believe in God, but also say, well, I don't really know for sure because I can't prove it, right?
Oh no, I'm literally the same. It's I believe in God fully, but I would never turn around to someone and say, I have definitive proof, or say, oh, I can show you he's real.
Yeah. So that I call that agnostic Christian, you know, and I'm agnostic atheist. That's how I see those words.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So have you ever questioned your beliefs?
I have, yes, but through myself, I've sort of found my own answers.
Was there ever a tough question that you were really wondering about? Like maybe maybe stopped you to really contemplate about Catholicism or Christianity?
Oh no, definitely. Like some of the big ones, like is the life after death, and we can't prove that, but we've been taught, and let's seek out an answer. Or some of the other stuff, like if the afterlife is a thing, is heaven and hell something that we can comprehend, or you know,
Do you like the new pope?
kind of.
Yeah, I don't know much about him yet. I mean, I know a little bit, just what was in the news when he became pope, but I don't know much about his positions yet.
Yeah, because I don't think he's made it that much of a splash yet. I think he's only come out with one thing recently, and that was it.
Yeah, yeah, he's been relatively quiet.
I mean, you kind of want to, and when you're first starting out, because if you say the wrong thing, you can get ousted.
So, how has Catholicism impacted your life? Has it made a positive results, or it's been a positive experience?
More in the sense of a positive outlook on certain aspects of life. Obviously, when it comes to people passing away, or obviously, when you go through a hardship in life and you don't really know what to do or like who to speak to.
Now, Catholics seem to have a different understanding of heaven and hell than Protestants or evangelical Christians in America have. So, do you believe in purgatory?
I do to a sense, but I disagree with. See, the church has a view that if an unbaptized child dies, they go to purgatory, whereas I just reject that idea because I think a child is innocent, so they should not go to purgatory.
You think they go to heaven then?
Yeah, because after all, a child is innocent, and they should not spend time in the life between lives.
Now, I sense that you're a pretty reasonable guy. You have a belief and a faith that helps you get through life. Is that fairly accurate?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if so, I don't have any issues with like what you stand for. I will ask, do you think it's important that you persuade other people to also be Catholic or Christian?
I would persuade people to a degree, but I would never force it upon them.
Most people, and this is of course general, I'm just asking for my own curiosity. Most people in England like that, like they kind of have their beliefs and you know, they value it, but they don't push it on other people. Because in America, it's really not like that. I mean, there are some people like that, but the religious scene in America is very pushy.
Oh yeah, I know from like with some of the evangelicals, they are very down your throat with that type of stuff.
Yes, and I would say in America, the evangelical Christian community doesn't believe you're going to heaven.
Yeah, no, definitely, because they go, "Oh, you're Catholic, you're not evangelical, so you're wrong." You know, despite the fact that the Catholic Church existed 1800 years before them.
Yeah, and you're not saved because, you know, they look at you. I know I was one of them. I was an evangelical Christian. And I used to see Catholics as following the Pope or following a religion, but that they didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus, you know? And they needed to be saved just like an atheist or a Jewish person or a Muslim or anybody in my old way of thinking. Everybody needed to be saved and they had to believe the same thing that I did. And I am so far from that now, you know.
Yeah, because I know with the evangelicals, they're like, if you don't believe what I believe, you're going to hell. Whereas with Catholics, when they view Jesus, they say Jesus died for everyone, not just Christians or one particular group of people. Jesus died for everyone. So no matter what you believe, you're still like redeemed or saved.
Now I got to ask you a tough question.
Oh, go on, go on.
Is do you believe that a person is saved by faith alone, or do you think a person is saved by having faith, but also their actions or their works?
Well, depending on the Catholic you speak to, some of them believe in I think it's called venereal sins, where if you commit a sin, you'll spend so many years in hell for that sin, and after all the years are spent up, you'll go to heaven. Whereas other Catholics view it as there are certain actions that are irredeemable, and you'll spend eternity in hell.
But purgatory is another option, right?
Yeah, purgatory, I believe, from some aspect is, let's say, you have an atheist who doesn't believe in God, but he did good in his life. He'll go to purgatory, and they'll say, "Oh, you did good, so you can go to like heaven."
Now, here's a hard one. And you could ask me anything, by the way.
Oh no, no worries.
I'm just thinking of things I like to know about, like Catholic people. Um, when you go to mass and they give you the Eucharist, do you believe that Eucharist is literally the body and the blood of Jesus? That it becomes the literal body and blood of Jesus?
Yeah, not. I would say I don't believe literally. I think it's figuratively because obviously if you read the obviously the original where it's like what you're eating now is my flesh and blood, but it wasn't. So I think with that it's a figurative term where it's like yeah you are consuming the flesh and blood of Christ, but it's actually not the flesh and blood of Christ.
So you like to look at least some reality
Essentially, yeah, because
because it, as far as I know, the Catholic Church doctrine is it does become the literal body and blood of Christ. And to me, that just always strikes me as a very bizarre thing to think, knowing that the Eucharist is made by men, it's not something, it's made by people.
oh yeah, they have the thing where they call it sanctification, where when the bread and wine is presented, I think it's a priest who sanctifies the bread and wine so that it becomes the blood and flesh of Christ.
Yes. And that always strikes me as like a form of magic ritual.
Yeah, it does seem that way. You know what I mean? But I can understand why the implementation is behind it.
Yeah. You know, I think that without the Catholic Church, there wouldn't be any Protestant denominations. I see that.
Oh yeah, the whole Protestant thing was just a it was a Willie. Oh no, what's it? Luther Luther King basically disagreed with what the Catholic Church was putting out at that time and said that there should be a different way, and then that led to the big split.
Yeah, and I think that Protestant denominations, at least here in the United States, really run away from the Catholic Church. They really don't associate with them at all.
Yeah, because the Protestants, if I'm correct, they reject saints, and they reject substantiation, which is something to do with it's basically something to do with the Trinity.
Yeah, they reject the whole mass. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
but as an atheist, I think these beliefs are all very similar. So, you know,
Oh
I,
yeah,
I
no, definitely. From like an outsider perspective, you go, oh, you're worshipping the same thing. You've just got different ways going about it.
yeah, that's how I kind of see it. Like I think Catholics are Christians. Um, I think they're obviously Christians, but if you ask an evangelical Christian from the United States, most of them would say, no, they're not Christian.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get it.
To me, you can't separate it. You know, you can't separate Christianity from the Catholic Church. I mean, there's a split, and you could do that, but you can't separate it historically. You know.
Oh yeah, no, all the Christian sects, they are pretty much all the same. It's just every single one has like different like routines or belief systems, despite worshiping the same gods and doing pretty much the same thing as all the others.
Yeah. Yep. So, anything you may want to ask a hardcore atheist today?
Um, Not really, to be honest with you, because you've been really pleasant. So
Well, I don't think there's a reason not to be pleasant. Like I said, I've been really thinking a lot about the values that I have, all right? And one of my highest values that I have is humanity, trying to treat other people with respect
yeah,
because I don't think I know it all, right? So, you know, I try to keep that in the front of my mind, but honestly, it's difficult a lot because I'm dealing a lot with Christians who want to really come against what I'm doing here on this channel, right? And I get a lot of people who don't like me even being on YouTube,
yeah.
because
Whereas I would like defend your point and go, you've got every right to be on like YouTube and say what you want to say.
yeah, to me that's just I mean that's just freedom of thought and expression.
Yeah,
So
exactly. You know what I mean? It's God-given American rights. So
yeah, definitely is an American value, but in our country now they're coming against that value. And I could only tell you, being you're from another country, it's something that is happening in our country now.
with like all the ICE stuff and
Yeah, it's you have to be a certain type to be accepted, and it's really really causing a lot of division in America.
see, I can understand why like America's doing it, but the problem is that people shouldn't really get too caught up in politics because it's so divisive, but at the end of the day, it's not something that people should be concerned about.
I mean, all that, like the immigration stuff that you might hear about, that doesn't affect me personally because I'm, American, born in America, never knew anything else. I've only visited other countries, but I've always been American.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't feel like I'm directly going to be impacted. Um, but I do feel for other people. So I have that human part of me. And what I'm seeing is people being captured off the streets, essentially because they may not have been born here. And even if they were born here, now they're trying to come against that as well. And I just see it as something that's kind of inhumane, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I can understand why. Because I mean, when you're seeing that and hearing about it, it's terrible to think about. But at the same time, I can also understand why, like, the American government is doing these things and why people are supportive of it.
I'd say it's about half and half, like support and not support.
Yeah,
Like it's 50% support at best, maybe a little under 50%. But the power in America is now firmly in the hands of Donald Trump. So,
yeah, and with all the recent stuff coming out about him recently, it's not looking good for them.
yeah, did you hear about Epstein and Prince Andrew?
Oh yeah, no, I've been keeping up to that because I really hate Donald Trump now because of the stuff where have you seen the video where he's in the conference hall and someone asks him, he goes, "Why are people still bothering about Jeffrey Epstein? He's dead. No one cares." And it's like, no, people care.
Yeah, a lot of people do still care, for sure.
Yeah, they want to know who was on the list and they want to know how long he was operating for because he goes back to the 90s.
Yeah, yeah. This story is not new for sure, but it's still relevant because there were many victims, and there's a lot of mysterious things that we don't really know. Like I don't really know the situation with Prince Andrew. I don't know exactly what he did or didn't do. Um, I don't know what Trump did or didn't do, but I know that Trump was very close friends with Epstein.
Yeah, and P. Diddy.
Yeah, the Trump is not a an innocent character. That's not him.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah. He's trying to do everything he can to keep anything further from coming out right now. And he's trying to hold, the information aside. And I think it's pretty obvious why he's doing that because he's a part of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because even the best thing that Trump could do, even if he was a part of it, is just release the list, but take himself off the list.
Yeah. So who is the prime minister there now in England?
Oh, Keir Starmer, and he's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that prime minister.
Oh, don't worry, it's all right. But all you have to know is that he's terrible.
How's things going in England generally?
Really going downhill fast.
Price of gas? I remember when I went
Um,
there, the price of
pretty,
gas was way higher than the United States back in.
pretty much everything: price of living, price of gas, electric, and also the fact that we don't have certifiable rights like in the United States.
Well, I could give you something to think about the United States. The rights of people in the United States are actually being taken from them now. That's part of the whole thing going on here. There's a lot of tension, a lot of division, and a lot of it is about people's rights being taken from them.
Oh yeah, I know that in the US that a lot of rights are being infringed upon, but the saving grace is that at least people in the United States have those rights to begin with, and also those rights to rally under.
Yeah. So what do you think is the ratio of like believers in God and not believers in God in England now? What
Overall,
kind
I'd
of
probably say about
percentage?
60-40.
60 believe,
Yeah, 60 believe, I'd say.
so it's still a small majority, I guess.
Yeah, we've dipped in terms of recent numbers where it was probably higher as like 80 or 70, but we're probably on 60 now.
You live in the London area?
Oh no, I'm up north.
I'm trying to remember the things that I recall from England.
Yeah, if
I
you
know
went
I
to London, you're probably terrible.
went. That's. I'll tell you something I remember, and I don't think it's like that now. But a lot of the houses didn't have like heat, so when it got
Um,
cold,
we
it
we
got
did have heat, but it wasn't like the best.
like in America when I went there, everyone had central air, central heat. And when I went to England, that was not the case. A lot of people didn't have like central heating for their homes.
Oh, so in the UK, there's a lot of central heating in homes, but there's no AC in homes. So as of now, in the summer, it is extremely hot indoors, especially because British homes are built for the winter, so it keeps it dead warm inside. But obviously, in the summer, that heat's got nowhere to go. So inside is actually warmer than outside.
Yeah, that would be rough on me. I love my air conditioning.
Yeah, you don't see air conditioning in the UK. It's very rare that you see someone that has AC in their home.
Yeah. So, anything else? Any religious thoughts? Anything you know you want to air out?
Uh, Not really. Do you want to ask me anything before I disappear?
I mean, I hate to just pick apart religion for
Oh
such
no, go on.
such
Ask
a
me
nice
anything.
guy, because I do think you're a nice guy.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
but I don't. I mean, let's see. I don't really understand the idea of people needing to believe in a god at all. Like, I don't even think there's real evidence for a god. You know?
I'd say that with people believing, it's a case of God doesn't answer, but He always listens, and that's a lot of comfort to people. And another comfort is obviously like the afterlife. Because let's say someone you love passes away, you don't want to be dreading about what their existence is going to be. You're comforted by the fact that, oh no, they're going to heaven, and one day you'll be in heaven with them too.
Well, I think that can go both ways though, because I don't think there's a heaven or a hell or a purgatory or anything like that. And when I did believe in heaven, hell, and at one time I believed in purgatory too, way
Mm,
back, but I always felt that most of the people in the world aren't going to be going to heaven because I would read the Bible and the Bible would tell me that very few are going to go to heaven,
yeah.
right? And we live in a world now where there's 8 billion people alive today, And at best, there's 2 billion that would be called or identify as Christian,
Yeah.
including Catholic, Protestant, the whole spectrum. So that would mean 6 billion people believe something different. And I would think that would mean they're on their way to hell because they don't believe in the same God. And that I just find very harsh and
Yeah.
not a good good thing.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I completely get what you're saying.
Like I kind of question whether belief is even a good thing. Like I don't judge people based on what they believe. And it's hard for me to even imagine a God who's supposed to know all things and be all powerful, that he's concerned primarily about what people believe. Like
Yeah.
that's rough for me even to think like that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So I've just got to shoot off now, but I'd just like to say thank you for having me on the stream, and it's been lovely speaking to you.
Hey, appreciate it. Stop by anytime.
Oh, I will do. Look after yourself in the meantime, Chief.
All right.
Take care, mate.
Bye. Well, that surely was a nice conversation. I've been really doing a lot of thinking about where there can be um, a good relationship between the religious and the non-religious. Been thinking a lot about that because ultimately, I think it's important that both the religious and non-religious come together for the good of our species and for the good of this country here in America. And I think that there has to be some middle ground, things that you can rally around rather than just divide. So I don't want to be that guy who just divides all the time. So I've been dealing with that, thinking a lot about that. But I also don't want to be the guy who just allows people to be controlled and manipulated by religious groups. And I don't want to be the guy who doesn't speak and doesn't hold firm to the values that I have. So I'm trying to walk that line, trying to respect beliefs, but also respect my own thoughts enough to defend them. So a nice guy like that fella from England, I sit down with him anytime and have a beer in a pub. no, no problem. All right. But he's not pushing his religion on me. He's not pushing his belief on other people. He's just has a belief that helps him get through life. And that's acceptable to me. Yeah, Luke, there is that whole thing with the 144,000, and that's interpreted different ways too. You know, Jehovah Witnesses, think that's a certain thing, and then Catholics and Christians think it's different. So it's up to interpretation. I mean, to me, the whole thing is ridiculous. One thing I've been wondering about, trying and reaching to try to understand the religious thought that God is overly concerned, because it certainly seems like the God that's represented in scripture is totally concerned about what people believe. And I can't reconcile that with any sort of rational thought. It just doesn't make sense to me. Gio, I totally am with you. That's another thing that is completely irrational to me. That if there is a God, that he would be the type of God who wants to punish people forever for the slightest transgression. And one of the more amazing things to me is that in most Christian thought, the punishment is the same. If you're a mass murderer, it's the same as uh, if you said a bad word, or masturbated or something. It's like you go to the same place, and I think that makes no sense at all. I mean, any sense or form of justice that isn't where the punishment fits the crime is no justice at all to me. So that's something in Christian theology and Christian philosophy that just makes no sense at all. Putting the Jeffrey Dahmers of the world in the same category as my grandma, who didn't believe exactly what they do, you know, that they're both suffering forever and ever in hell. I mean, none of that makes sense at all to me. Hey, Henry Mars, how you doing? Welcome in. Appreciate you stopping by. And it's crazy when you talk to the Christians who do believe that like Jeffrey Dahmer is saved and in heaven. Don't get it. Okay. But these same people would say a dear relative of theirs is in hell. And I don't know where they're coming from. It's like there has to be degrees of this sin, right? And I like Catholicism better in that way, because Catholicism does seem to separate the types of sin. And I think that is at least a step towards rational thought. I also think purgatory is a step towards rational thought. Maybe there's a place where God puts people who are not perfect, but you know, they have to learn something, but he's not going to punish them forever. Hey, Gio, always thanks for stopping by. Always appreciate you coming in. There's always thoughts that just hit a brick wall when you're in fundamentalist religion. You know. Hey, Luke, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. So it's that stubbornness that kind of irks me more than anything else. The stubbornness to open your mind to other thought. All right? That's the most dangerous part of religion to me. And some people aren't like that. And I think they're okay with the religion. But religion can poison a mind to a point where it becomes rigid and so strict and so controlling that it becomes obnoxious and even violent and everything negative. And that's what I'm against. Hey, Henry, are you Christian, theist, atheist, agnostic? Where do you stand on these issues? One more time, here's a link if anyone wants to come in. Casual chat here. Casual chat. You know, I have met a couple of really nice Christian people on my live chats in the last few weeks, and it's been pleasant. Most of the time, I get people who resent what I'm doing here on YouTube, but it's been a couple of really nice Christian people who I do respect. They were very cordial, respectful of other people. And that was nice to see. So if anyone wants to pop in, pop in. If not, I'm going to be cutting out in a couple of minutes, I guess. And we could do it another time. Again, I'd like to open my channel up for people to express their ideas and thoughts and to communicate just about anything at all. All right, so I guess I'll cut out. Appreciate everyone who stopped by in the chat. Always feel free to come by if I'm live. I love to talk about just about anything. I'm unscripted. I don't have an agenda like, a bunch of notes. When I talk live, it's just live talk. I don't prepare, just free thinking and free thought. So appreciate anyone who came by. Like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.